Okay, so this is Fallout New Vegas. You might be wondering why I'm here. Or should I say here? Why I didn't start from the start. I mean, the game's very much built towards it. It has this, created by Obsidian, and then that amazing music kicks in. And then I would say, hello, or something. It would be, it'd lend itself well. The problem is twofold, maybe threefold. So, full disclosure, this isn't the first time I've tried to do this. And that sentence has two meanings. One of them we'll get into later, but the first meaning is I tried to do this 2 days ago. Today is a Tuesday. I tried it on Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday. And tied into my second meaning of this isn't the first time I've done this. This isn't the first time I've tried to play Fallout New Vegas. Tried being the operative word. I say again, we'll get to it later. But I had installed the game and I had begun to record, and I discovered that the game had mods in it from some ineffable time in the past where I had tried to make this game a little more fresh and interesting. These mods weren't anything crazy, but one of them was a graphical mod and some others were some extra cosmetics and things. And I quickly realised that this game had been... Well, I mean, I'd uninstalled it and reinstalled it, which meant something had broken somewhere. And sure enough, I took one step into the saloon and the game crashed horribly. That was the first reason why I started again and started out here. I wanted to make sure that this game world worked before I started recording. The second reason is, again, tying into my other long discussion I'll have about New Vegas on our journeys ahead. I really hate the opening to this game. Like, it's a thing, I know that Skyrim and all of these, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, you always start exploring a kind of gameplay which doesn't really reflect on the rest of the game. You're in these tight controlled areas, you go through these ridiculously, like, they try to make character creation a physical part of the world. You get asked what you look like, you get asked what your name is, you pick some skills. They take a long time and they're very tedious, especially if this is not the first time you've done it, which was, my experience. And again, we'll get onto this in more detail as I begin walking and talking, but I have tried to play this game a number of times and I've essentially failed to get too far into it because the opening robs me of any enthusiasm. And that opening did that to me, and I didn't particularly, on the retake of this intro, want to go through that process again because, well, it put me in entirely the wrong mood. I start this game out, hey everyone, I'm going to be playing this, you're going to listen to me as I walk around this game without any real, extra thing to add to it. I don't know how this game works. I'm not particularly versed in the lore. It's just me with my opinions playing a game. But playing that, I was just moaning unconstructively and bitterly for, God, it felt like 15 minutes because that's so long. Anyway, point is, I thought I'd start out here and just dive right into it. So I am playing with a bunch of DLC that just comes with. It seems to give, there's a caravan pack, there's a mercenary pack, and you start with a bunch of extra equipment. On that note, it's a bunch of equipment that no one really needs. Let's clarify a couple of things. So, I have given myself 10 luck and high perception and poor everything else, and the agility suffering because I'm wearing some armour right now. I did this for a couple of reasons, but mostly I thought it would be interesting. Again, I will expound on this more coherently at a later date, but whenever I've played this game before, I've always fallen into the trap of trying to play the same kind of character or some kind of like novelty character, and it's never worked. And I thought, you know what, I always neglect luck. And I think part of it was I didn't really understand how critical chance worked, and also I felt it was a bit gamey. I would rather create a smart character or a strong character. Lucky didn't really come into it, and I thought, you know what, I'll do the opposite this time round. The other thing I did was I have made myself, maybe not particularly coherent, but I've decided I'm going to spec into explosives, because again, that's something I avoided before, because I felt like, you know, you're going to have a gun, you're going to have a rifle, you're going to have a pistol or a revolver. Having grenades seems goofy. I always ignored explosives in these games, so again, I thought, let's lean into that. And on that note, this may mean something to someone. I picked these because critical hit and throwing fast seemed like good ideas. And oh, cool. Anyway, my name's Courier because the name means nothing in this game, so I just, you know, it's good as any. I am an African American woman. How do I make it? I can't make it turn around, but essentially I'm an African American woman because, you know, no reason not to be. Can I play like this? Would this be an incredibly... That's the way they always play in the trailers, isn't it? Let's give this a go for the time. Oh, I bob really weird.
Howdy. What can Easy Pete do for you?
So I have talked to the guys in this town far too many times, but I'm just gonna skip all of this. Yeah, no, this is obnoxious. Okay. The game may crash right now, and this whole thing was for naught, and you'll never hear this recording, but hopefully we're going to get the terrible, terrible voice acting. Yep.
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry, she won't bite unless I tell her to.
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry. She won't bite unless I tell her to. So, this is not really... Okay. Let's just get through this as quick as humanly possible. Now we're going to go shoot a bunch of things, and that guy's got a gun. I mostly just wanted to get this out of the way, and then I can begin to actually, I don't know, talk and such. Oh no, that would be stealing, would it? Okay, let's not do that then. Okay.
Now, see the sarsaparilla bottles on the fence there? Take this and try to hit a couple of them.
Well, you know, I guess I'll vaguely do what he says. He says, failing utterly.
It'll help your aim.
And then maybe I want to see what happens if I do this.
Everything all right? Until next time.
Okay, she doesn't seem to have said, oh, well done, you did it. Oh god. Surely not. Am I gonna have to shoot? Is it that simply coded, or I use the word code like I know what the hell it means, but is it that simply designed? I have to shoot each of these things, and only then will she be like, oh yeah, you did it. I don't know which ones I have and which ones I haven't. I think that was all of them.
Well, that's a start.
Okay, I did. Okay. So
I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway.
maybe it was because by the way, I've made it so that the voice, I should be able to talk over it. But maybe the end of the tutorial, like absolutely leave me alone. Leave just no. But yeah. Maybe I could have done it with like a gun that wasn't the varmint rifle. Maybe it was like the physics engine of, you know, the sarsaparilla bottles weren't actually being hurt by the explosion. But yeah, okay, that was... You know what, I say that was disappointing, but actually that was more interesting than if it had just worked. Anyway, I'm in two minds about this. Part of me wants to go through the whole Goodsprings, you know, oh, we've got to go talk to the guy in the gas station, and then he tries to shoot me, and then immediately, you know, calms down and starts playing cards with me, which I've always found to be a jarring, you know, personality divergence there. Then I can go try and round up, you know, all these people. I mean, I've got the explosives to get Pete to give me some dynamite. Apparently I already have dynamite. And then beyond that, I guess I'll head off to, was it Prim, the place with the roller coaster? And I'll do that whole thing, and then it'll be a while before I'll get to any content that surprises me, I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't need to talk to him. I just thought, you know, I've never actually properly walked around here because it's not actually a settlement. It's a linear corridor that you move your way through and then leave, and you never really have a reason to come back or think about these people ever again. I believe there is a quest, or you know, there's a thing that happens if you come back at a much later, you know, time in the game. Like there'll be something new that's happened here in your interim disappearance, but anyway, let's. There's a big bird. Let us just get this over and done with. And then I begin to walk, begin to talk, and rant a little bit about the aesthetic of the Fallout world. Because, yeah. So I've got to go talk to... Can I shoot him? I feel like I've done this before. Can I shoot him here and now? Will everyone lose their cool with me? Right, I don't really want to start this being a whole, like, I save before every decision. But this one's early enough and I cannot be bothered to go through this whole...
What the hell is your problem? What do you want? He's some traitor who decided he'd rather shoot than pay the toll for being in our territory. It'd serve these idiots right if me and my guys... It is now.
I feel like... I don't know, I can't decide in my manners whether I should talk or listen to these people. I made it, you know, low enough that... Can I kill him? No, I'm not gonna. Like, I mean, firstly, he bolts, and it's just inconvenient, and secondly, like, I feel like these guys would not be cool with that.
Well, you've been causing...
Yada yada, yada yada, yada yada yada, yada yada yada, yada yada. I mean...
You mean murder him? That's not our way.
So, let's just get this over and done with as fast as humanly possible. I know I can just skip and walk off, but I feel like it's part of the experience of this game that you do this first little mission. Maybe that's part of my problem, is I do keep doing this bit. But, I don't know. I think part of the problem is that after going through that incredibly tedious little bit, I want to just do, you know, something with the first hour of gameplay, and like shooting some powder gangers seems like a good way. So here's a fun little thing. I'll walk through here, he'll try to shoot me, I will just say a word to him and his tone will completely change and he'll try to play cards with me.
That's close enough. Who are you? What do you want with me? Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard, that's all. We got off to a bad start. What say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan?
Yeah.
You know how to play?
Like, I'm not saying that like I was telling you guys, like, this is some new information. You've all met Ringo as well. You know how this conversation goes. But, like, this is one of the things I remember, is, like, coming through here, thinking, oh no, I'm gonna have to talk this guy down from shooting me and everything. And then he's like, oh, okay, no, let's play cards. And then I have to... there's part of me that wants to play Caravan because, like, I never ever do because it sucks. But then there's another part of me that's like, if it sucks, can we not just say it sucks and just move on?
Yeah, I'll have.
Uh,
I was. Start with some.
okay, yeah, I guess I'm not playing. But if I'm being honest, ooh, hello. Yeast. Just a bag of yeast if you ever, feeling peckish. So, long-time viewers will know that my other Let's Play was of Evil Genius, a game which I love passionately, have completed multiple times, and I know pretty much every in and out of it. It's a game I will say is perfect in every way except the way it was made, I guess. It sounds weird to say, but you get what I mean. Like, it was an amazing game, a couple of glitches, some funny not design choices but some consequences of the design which meant that the game was gameable, but that almost added to its charm. Beyond that, I haven't done any Let's Plays because, well, the whole thing of Evil Genius was it was a game I could talk about the ins and outs of forever. And I suppose I should probably be skipping through all this tutorial stuff whilst I'm chatting. I'm going to see if I can multitask in that way. But yeah, Evil Genius was a game that I could talk about until the cows came home. And
Hi there.
okay, yeah, no, it's going to be nearly impossible to talk over these people. I mean, like, you can physically hear me, but like my brain does not have that capacity to.
That Joe Cup. However,
Yada yada.
finally, there's a good.
Yeah,
I'll be waiting.
I can go get Easy Pete, no problem,
Howdy.
because my God, he's weathered.
Uh-huh. Guess you know what you're doing.
Okay. Anyway, point is, Evil Genius was a game I could talk about endlessly. I could play it, and I did play it for hours, and I never really ran out of things to say about the game. I never particularly began just like talking about my day or how I was feeling or anything. It was all about the design of the game, the various interconnecting things in the game, my thoughts on like little things that were going on, little tricks I'd learnt, and that carried me pretty reliably to the end of the game. And I think part of that was because, by virtue of being a linear game with a variety of missions, there was always something new to talk about, because I could be like, aha, now we're on to this thing. With a game like New Vegas, that kind of knowledge would be encyclopedic if I had it, and I don't, because this is not a game I'm overly familiar with. I mean, I know how it ends, because, like, you know, it's a fairly... I never noticed there was a crossover there. It's, like, blended against a... Maybe I did know there was a crossover there. But it was blended against a night sky. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go over there. It'll make things a bit more interesting. But, yeah, so this is a game that not only do I not know all that much about, and it's part of a series whose mechanics I'm not any more familiar with than the next Joe Schmo. But, oh, is that button? Okay, so Q is auto walk. I guess I thought I knew that. What is the button for VATS? Is it V? Yes, okay, that's good to know. I should have found that out before I wandered off into the desert, but you know. So, it's a game that I'm familiar with. I've played Fallout 3, I've played New Vegas to an extent, I've played Fallout 4 as much as anyone can, you know, stomach it. And I've never actually completed any of them. And so these are games that I've never really gotten to experience, and New Vegas is widely regarded as the best, having an interesting story and all manner of things. And it was the one that was always recommended to me as being the one I should try, but I never got into it for a variety of reasons I will expound upon. And so I thought, well, you know what? Games are engaging in a very different way when I'm talking whilst playing them, and I could just sit here by myself, no recording equipment being used. And I had a terrifying thought there for a second that this wasn't recording, and if it isn't, that's what I'm doing anyway. But the point is that I believe someone's listening, and that's engaging in its own right. And so I thought it could be a well, that looks like an album cover or something. I thought it could be a way to finally break through this game into. The hell is that over there? Oh wait, I have binoculars. I thought it'd be a way that I could finally break through this game and explore, quite literally, some kind of radio thing? I don't know. I could finally explore this game because I would be doing it whilst giving my thoughts on it as I went. So even if I wasn't enjoying it, the act of giving my opinion on it would validate the experience and make it engaging for me. This is just a theory. It could end up being that this game is not for me, or me talking. I actually don't have enough to say about this game compared to Evil Genius. It's a much broader experience. There's going to be a lot of quiet moments. There's going to be a lot of me walking around. The topic's going to vary a lot more because I won't be able to talk about this world around me so much as I'll be able to talk about my opinions about it. So it could end up being more interesting than the Evil Genius playthrough because I will just be essentially running a topicless podcast whilst Fallout plays in the background. Or it could turn out to very quickly be boring, both for you and for me. And if it's boring for you but not for me, I would probably stop, because this only works if I believe people are listening, and if people have told me they're not interested, then, you know, that's the end of that. And if it's boring for me but not for you, I mean, I could probably push on, but if I'm having a miserable time of it, it's not going to last. So yeah, let's get this over and done with. I don't believe I'm going to be able to get this guy to give me his wares. I don't think I have the high enough skill, and also I can't stand his guts, so let's give it a go though. Is he going to walk around and come up to me? No.
You must be the one Doc Mitchell was patching up. I've got
Can't stand this guy. I don't know why. I barely never talk to him.
now just
Yeah.
right.
Pretty much every time I play this game, I guess I never really go into speech, which, thinking about it, and thinking about how I created the character this time around, I really ought to have, because this is a game that really does, like, reward being clever with your words. So I'll probably start specking into that whenever I level up from here on out. But I thought I'd start with something a little bit non-conventional. I guess I'll go... Yeah, I got a Vingo, don't I? Let's get this over and done with. Oh, I should go talk to Doc, because then he gives you stim packs, doesn't he? So I guess you will see the inside of Doc's house after all. But, point is, this game has eluded me, and I know it's good, and I know it is universally beloved.
Welcome back.
And I just need to break through. Cool. So, let's get this bit over and done with, and then I will head towards Prim, and I will just go blitz through all that experience. I'll do a little tour. I'll probably go over there. Not the whole way, I know what's over there, but I've got a little story to tell that kind of will start the saga of my issue with... Okay, you just do that. With New Vegas.
So what's going on? It's... Well...
alive. The powder gangers are here to play.
Like, that is just like, okay, you know what, fine, I'm going to accept that that's just coincidence, that she will always come in whenever I happen to decide, let's do this, because otherwise it would be a tedious wait, but you know.
Oh, I'll be set up near the store.
Let's give this a crack then. So, I guess I will break out the grenade rifle, which I never really have cause to use, because I'm always scared of using explosives in this game. That was it. The first time I played this through, I created a character pretty much like this, except I gave myself medicine. I don't believe I gave myself abilities in medicine this time round. Oops. Whoa, my mouse. No. Oh, well, you know, it's good. Maybe I did. But yeah, the thought was the first time round that, you know, I was going to be blowing myself up more often than not, so I should probably get the best possible experience out of all of this stuff. So that's them over there. I could very well die right now. I guess I'd spawn back out there, so it's not the end of the world. Am I even hitting them? No, I'm nowhere near. Cool. That was a lot easier with the grenade than it ever was with just guns. I am ferociously uninterested in piecing through all this guff these guys have. Oh god, there's more of them. I mean, maybe I'm cheating. I don't think you're supposed to start with this in, you know, the base game, but they gave me a deal. I bought the deal. I didn't buy the DLC. I ended up with it. And you know what? That's just the way these things go.
I owe you a huge favor. It's all I've got with me.
Okay, let's start speccing into speech. And explosives seem to serve me well just then. Yeah, let's do that. Can I pick both of those? Because if I am, I'm gonna. Apart from that, these are all pretty bog standard, so I'm gonna go Black Widow. I know there's some interesting stuff that can be done with that. Now, where did his there his legs got blown off? So that's cool. I'll always be having that. I guess that's that then. I'm loving that they're all beat up like that, but you know, I just don't care. Yeah. Let's go. Well, I suppose, okay, well the main thing is going to be, if I'm going to keep using this gun, especially in the early days, 40mm grenade. Okay, let's actually go see if that guy has any before I'm off. But, and then I said I was going to go to the valley, to the, what would that be? That's north, technically, isn't it? To the north, I guess. Yeah, we won, no thanks to you.
That was a hell of a fuck. Ended.
Does he have any 40mm grenades? I suppose. To tell a lie. I should probably not sing. That could be... I'm sorry if I was out of tune there. Nope, doesn't have anything I need. Okay, is there a way to like back out of conversations without saying goodbye? Not because I'm averse to the word goodbye, but just because it would be quicker if I didn't have to scroll to the bottom every time. Anyway, Sun's getting real low. So let's tell the story of why Alasdair could never enjoy New Vegas. So New Vegas is regarded as a superior product to Fallout 3, and certainly to Fallout 4. Despite that, I got further in Fallout 3, and part of the reason for that was Fallout 3, you go through the, admittedly, eventually it gets tiresome, charade of the vault, but then you're out, and although you could, so let's pretend this is the little, you walk out and you can, it goes all white and then it fades, you could go over there-ish and there's Megaton, and you can go down to the town in front of you, and there's a bunch of things. You could go into the high school and discover that it's like way too much stuff to be dealing with right out the gate. There's stuff to do with this game. Like, you come out into this town, and if you know what you're doing and you're open to like breaking the rules, I say rules and air quotes, you could leave right now. But most people don't, and I didn't. And you end up doing this whole thing, and then you get told you get to go to Prim. And if you're like me, I just had a noise there. If you're like me, you would have had an experience of these games being quite open world. And I remember one of the most... So, full disclosure, I played Fallout 3 on the PS3 back when I was a teenager. One of the most interesting experiences I had playing Fallout 3 was I came out of the vault, picked one of the cardinal corner directions, i.e. I went to the top left of the map. I just picked the top left of the map and I began making a beeline. And all the things I encountered along the way, and then I made my way from top left to top right, and I went down, and so I found the Republic of Dave, which is actually up there in the right hand corner, that Deathclaw sort of town that's right up there in the north. And I remember discovering this, and it was all on my own terms. It's because I'd chosen to go on this very bizarre and purposeful journey. And it was very engaging for me to just be doing my own thing and creating a little narrative to explain why I was doing it. And I tried to do that with this game, and so I took this road out. I went, I'm not following your story, old man. I'm my own man. I'm going to go, oh god. If you've never played this game and you don't know what's beyond there, well, find out on your own. Have fun with that. I'm not showing you. And then I tried going, what was that? That's north, so east. Yeah. I will tell you what's there, Deathclaws. And that bothered me. And it bothered me in a way that was much deeper than just not being able to go east. It kind of spoke to this game being a different beast from what I was hoping for, perhaps. And you know what, I will not head out to town immediately. I am going to wait until it's dawn. Well, I'll walk a little bit and then I'll wait until dawn. But, so I did the thing they wanted me to do, and I headed to Prim, and then from there I had to head out to Thingy, and I just lost interest. And I actually came back and played this game, like I say, a couple of times since, and one of those times, more recently than not, I did head into the Deathclaw place, and I knew it was Deathclaws. In fact, no, so I'm getting ahead of myself. One time, back on the PS3, with New Vegas, we had it on the PS3 as well, I knew that there were, well, you know, there's problems over there. So I tried to do the age-old sort of, you know, Skyrim mountaineering style of, like, hopping along invisible ledges just created by the models of the mountains, and I just tried to skirt at high altitudes around that whole problem. And I succeeded to the point where I fell out of the map, and I came into one of the sort of, like, you know, whenever you go beyond the map and it's just the base repeating texture as far as the eye can see. Yeah, I found that. And I don't recall what I did for that beyond there. I think I stopped. And another time, more recently, I went into the Deathclaw country, and I managed to evade them. They scared me, it was terrifying, it was exhilarating, and I did it. And when you do that, you get to New Vegas immediately. But the game wasn't really, I say built, the game wasn't really crafted with that being the idea of what you could do. An expert player who's played, is that more Bandit? Anyway, an expert player who's done this before would immediately know what to do with themselves in New Vegas. That would perhaps be a a way of proving that you were a hardy character who could skip all of the beginning stuff and just get to the content you already had experience before and you just wanted to get to it again. I didn't know what I was doing, and New Vegas is a large and complicated place, and there's lots of like smaller towns around it, large like fields and pipes and drainage systems and lots of chain link fencing. And I'd approached it from the wrong angle, so it was disorientating, it was ugly, it was confusing, I was bewildered, and that led to me getting bored, and so I quit. Even though I'd finally made it to New Vegas. Did I just hear an explosion? I think I did. Okay, I'm good. But, so I've never... No. God, Oof, he flew, didn't he? That's a different one. Is this Joe? That's some guy. Yeah, I'll take that. I guess I'll wait. So yeah, this game kind of didn't do what I wanted it to. And I mean, sure, just so it didn't let me do what I wanted to, and more than that, that's partly the game's fault. And I say fault, I mean obviously lots of people did enjoy this game, so it was doing something right, but to me that, you know, I lost interest. But another thing that was entirely my fault, yeah, another thing that was entirely my fault was I went around character creation the whole wrong way. This game with the radio, big iron on his hip, being a western sort of, you know, futuristic post-apocalyptic western, you start imagining your guy having a duster and a hat and being this tough guy who takes names and has a big iron on his hip. You start creating a character, but you're not creating the character for now. You're creating a character for like 20 levels down the road. You're this badass who takes names and never dies and never says die and all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't work, because the second you leave this town, you're in constant danger, and you'll fail to like hit and kill even the tiniest animals, and you'll constantly be finding yourself running away and like desperately munching on fruit or whatever to keep alive for a few precious more seconds. And it can be disheartening to sort of realise that you're not as cool as you thought you were. To invoke a, for those of you who've ever played or have any interest in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and I apologise to those listening who I know will roll their eyes at me bringing up my favourite topic once again, but I promise I'll only do this once or twice. But it is, come on, it's an RPG. Bear with me. I mean, for God's sake, you pick strength and charisma at the start. Let's not pretend Dungeons and Dragons doesn't exist somewhere in the roots of this thing. This game is what we call OD&D, old school, old D&D, original D&D, as opposed to what we call 5th edition, which is the modern way of playing. The modern way of playing, your character is very much a hero. You're creating a character who's going to be the centre of attention, who's going to be taking part in some great legacy, some great narrative where they save the world. They're going to have all these cool abilities. It's very hard to die in 5th edition. You can get close, but it's damn hard to actually die. You can do lots of cool things from the word go. There's a lot of success and inherent like specialness built into the characters. You are encouraged to come up with cool backstories and interesting combinations of character classes that makes you truly unique, like a superhero, like a Marvel character. Original D&D, you had a name and a sword and maybe a stat if you were lucky. Get fucked, good luck. And you almost invariably died, not just because the game was tough, or because you had little recall to do anything other than hope you get lucky, but also because the game was about being dangerous, and the game was about rewarding you for thinking cleverly, for not engaging in everything with your fists, for knowing when to pick fights. And even past all of that, it was still, there was a lot of arbitrariness and suddenness, and it was a grim, dangerous world. And that's fine. The point was, you weren't supposed to create a character at first level. You were supposed to just be a bloke with a name, or a lady with a name. I shouldn't gender language. You were supposed to be a person with a name, maybe not even a name. And as the story would develop, and I am aware, I swear I had a coyote there, I freaked out. I'm aware that I'm just standing here staring at the screen, so I apologise if this isn't visually interesting. Who's that? That's a trader. I'm aware that it's not visually interesting, but anyway, you don't create a character at level 1. You just have a guy, and then...
Hello? Can you help me?
Whoa! Okay, he's got a name. This is a whole thing.
My girl is trapped by geckos on the ridge, and I can't get to her. Please, she's going to die.
I'm 90% sure I've encountered this guy before, and if this is a ruse.
Go up the path, past
Past
the
the
broken
radio tower,
and
go to the
You're at
right.
the top of the trail. You will?
Okay, radio tower. Does he mean that one? I'll get back on track in a second, let me just... Ooh, okay, my mouse is not enjoying this, Is it even a quest? It's not even a quest, I just have to, like... I mean, if it's not a quest, I guess I'll head over there? But anyway, point is, I'm going to save. Being outdoors for any length of time in this game is dangerous because you forget to save. Anyway, point is, you don't create a character at 0 level, first level, beg your pardon, in original D&D. The character is the choices you make in game, and so by level 20 or whatnot, you do have a you have an interesting character who has all these experiences, this history, these relationships. Whereas at first level in 5th edition, you create a character. So you go, I want to be the badass cowboy with the big iron on his hip. You do not do that at original D&D. The character comes from what you choose to do. And I feel like that is a part of what they were going for with this game. How am I doing for... Okay, this is a very close range gun. Whoa, no! I just heard a mine underfoot. That was not clever of me. Oof. I am crippled. Well, I always forget there's a mine there. Part of what I was saying earlier is I've played this part of the game a million billion times, and I always forget that there is a mine there. So, that's my bad. I should also remember that there are going to be mines elsewhere, no doubt. Anyway, point is, I would always create characters with the intent of them having like a certain, like, you know, style of gameplay. Sure. And it would never come to pass because... Did that do anything? No. I don't think sleeping fixes things. You know, I've just got to go into the hole. Let's do this then. Is there more mines around here? I feel like there is, but I'm just going to press on. So, point is, this game, partly through my own mistakes in how I thought it worked, and also partly through its design choices, frustrated me, and so I never picked it up again. Or rather, that's a lie, I picked it up plenty of times, but the problem is I don't plan how I play this game or how I do these talks or anything, but Don't they always run and then they turn at the last minute and come towards you from a really random angle? No, I guess they don't. I swear they always come at you from a funny angle if you let them get away. But this game is going to be difficult to maintain a coherent thought in, because I keep losing my train of thought. But the point is, and I've said the point is so many times, trying to get back on point. But that being done, there is a point, which is I've tried to play this game so many times, and oh, something's happened. Oh, it's him. Oh, I forgot the button for VATS. I keep pressing Q. Sure. Can't believe I missed that shot. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say, but the point is. Anyway, I thought a little bit about what I was going to say as I was walking through here, how I was going to express my initial, contextualizing my experience of this game thus far. And the analogy I was trying to come up with, I kept being put in mind of I wanted to say the word calcification, and I wanted to use it in the context of like how I remember when we were at school we had these PSAs about illegal drugs and everything. Yeah, they always do turn around in a funny way. Joy! But there was this particular drug PSA, and I think it was in the context of like heroin or something. Do you know what? I'm going to hold this thought until I'm not having to worry about geckos or anything anymore, when I'm in a more sane kind of part of the country, which is just over here. I've been here too many times as well, with their weird corrugated iron tents, however that works. I think there are mines. There are definitely mines over there, but there may be mines here also. He's going to run up to me and say something.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Be careful.
Yeah, he's in a tent. Yeah, it's a tent that makes a weird corrugated iron noise when you try and walk through it. That's not a tent. You can't fool me. Yeah. So, there was this particular PSA, and I think it was in the context of heroin. And it was this little spider on a web, and every time it got high, it quite literally ascended its web, and it got higher towards the top of the screen. And then when it lowered again, it went lower than it had been originally before it got high, and it would get high again, and it would return to just barely where the original it had been prior to ever getting high or low, and it would crash and get even lower. And the point was that as the drug use went on, you didn't take the drug so much to feel high as you did to feel human, and every time you did it, being human became a lower and lower bar, because you'd feel worse and worse, and you just wanted to feel a little bit better, just a little bit less worse than you do now, and it stopped being fun and it became a dependency, not just an addiction. But the point I was getting at is how each time it got harder to enjoy the thing, because I don't know, the experience had been even further calcified or whatever. It's not quite the same. I'm not saying I got a low after playing this game or a high, but trying to play this game so many times, trying to restart and trying to get through this content to this apparent, Garden of Eden of amazing storylines and everything that lies just beyond. Everyone keeps telling me, oh yeah, it's annoying that you have to go to Prim, but it opens up after Prim. Well, no, because then you go to Nipton. Oh yeah, well, it opens up after Nipton. Well, no, then you go... beg my pardon, then you go to another place. And I do believe that kind of soon after Nipton, that is where it opens up, but that's a bridge too far for me. And every time I would try to play this game, I will have experienced this content a little bit more. I would have done it again. I would have talked to the same people, had the same lines, noticed the same quirks in the voice actor's delivery. And then I would inevitably fail somewhere around Nipton. And I would try again a couple of months or maybe even a year later, or maybe even more than a year later. And again I would talk to Easy Pete and Sunny Smiles and Doc McDougal or Martin, or began with an M, and Chet at the general stores at Goodspring. And then I would come down here and shoot a gecko and powder ganger, and there was that mine I'd step on, and I'd always step on the mines over there as well, and I'd go over there and there's the sheriff guy, or rather the deputy, and he's in the kitchen, and then I would shoot my way through the hotel, and then I'd come back, and then he'd insist that he couldn't be the sheriff. I had to go to the big NCR statue, which is just over there, hidden by that brick wall, I believe. Yeah. And every time it became less and less an experience and more like a transaction. Like, they were robots. I said whatever I wanted to say and they said the same lines back to me. The same things kept happening. It was like a Truman Show or Groundhog Day or something. And that would make it even less engaging, because it wasn't just that the game was bothering me or that I felt it wasn't fun, but it was also that I was doing the same thing over and over again. And so I would quit, and then when I came back again, the same thing again, and it became even harder to enjoy, and I quit even earlier. Anyway, I've had that kind of speech welling up in me since I started playing this game, and I wanted to find a point to actually deliver it coherently.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
You see, I knew he was going to say that. I know everyone knows they're going to say that, but I thought, is he going to say something else, or is he going to say the thing to prove to me that this is like absolutely just a weird robot simulation? Yeah, okay. What tent has a corrugated iron door and canvas everything else? What tent is this? That, and then I open it and it makes a squeaky door noise. Like, what's going on here? And look.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Oh, I'm staying on the table. I was wondering why I was so high. How? What is this? I don't know.
I'm Lieutenant Hayes of the New California Republic.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, well I'm gonna like, go through here and whatever, and I guess I'll go shoot the guys through there. Actually, what time is it? Okay, I've been playing for a fair little while. God, if I haven't been recording, if there was some slip up, that's the real fear, is I can't really check without screwing up the whole... But yeah. I remember that these mines are here. I could have been cleverer about that, but I just could not be bothered to. Now this shotgun is incredibly short range, and although I only have so many shots with it, I may just use my grenade gun for the time being, in the hopes that I can soon find a better replacement. Or better than that, I should start using the dynamite. I've picked up enough. Let me just double check how it works. So I do this, and then what? Like does it particularly? Okay, that triggered someone. I don't use the word triggered. Where did that come from? That was weird language from me. Don't, stay back. I've got a lighter from somewhere. I don't really know what I'm doing. Where are they at? Oh, I got him. Oh god, it's dropped it by my feet, for fuck's sake. I think that was my own. I guess that worked? Okay, well I'm going to need to... Yeah, this is the other reason why I thought I was going to need a lot of... Anyway. That seems to have worked surprisingly well. Cool. I mean, I won't say no. Oof, tough break. I mean, sure, why not? Anyway, that was sort of the mainstay of my experience with... I always forget you can go in here. I always forget, because like you're set up to think that every time you see baddies, that's sort of like an area where there isn't civilization. And then there's just these guys.
I don't know what it was brought you to Prim, youngster.
Do you want to play Caravan? I don't want to click because he'll say yes and we'll have to play Caravan, but I'd really hope that he'd say, what in the hell kind of question is that? You come in here, you blow up everyone, and I tell you to leave, and you're like, hey, let's play some cards. That's my American accent, get used to it, I'm going to do it a lot.
Johnson Nash.
I don't know why I'm asking him, I really don't care.
I'll tell you whatever. Oh, you're talking about one of them packages. Well, now that you mention it, he said he saw a fellow with a daisy suit come through with some... Well, for that, you're best. Since they came to town, he may have heard where they were. Last word I have from the office, it looked like payment had been received for the other 5 jobs. First deadbeat we hired to do the job canceled. Hope a storm from the divide skins him alive.
The Divide?
Nope, different fella, bigger. Got himself a... Don't...
Hey there.
Why has everyone got guns out? I mean, I guess because the bandits are outside? A little weird though. Whatever. So. Yeah, I'm really not sure what I should be talking about here. What the hell does that say? Oh, inert. I thought it said wort on my dynamite. Now, I remember there's a guy right behind here. I say again, I've played this mission too many times. That work? I dropped it again! Okay, this is a problem. This is gonna be a problem. Every time I blow anyone up, it does the slow-mo thing. And it's gonna keep doing that. And I'm gonna keep accidentally blowing myself up. Is there a way I can deactivate this? No? Is there a way I can not throw this? Okay, whatever, I guess I'm ready to blow. Now, I saw him come through here. If he had any sense, he'd be out of the way by now. Oh, I've done it again. You can see. You'll see me throw it in a second. There it is. God damn. See, I ready the second one up to throw, and then it drops the cutscene on me, and then I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm going through these at a fair old rate. Oh, he's got like a This is going to be a problem. Well, the good news is here, I should just get my gun out. The good news here is I can just rely on my sturdy shotgun. Is that guy there going to shoot at me? Nope. Oh, he moved. He sidestepped. Damn. So, more dynamite. You know what? I'm growing on dynamite. Dynamite's my thing. I'm gonna have this helmet and all. Sure. No, I don't know. I should probably. Ammo doesn't weigh anything. I really ought to take all of it that I can because it's always going to be helpful somewhere down the line when I want that. And I will take that from you, good sir. Thank you very much. You have been enormously helpful. Okay, that was a lot more. Oh, there's another one. Where the hell did you come from? Cool. I think I'm in the clear now. As long as these guys keep giving me dynamite, I'm going to be happy. But yeah, this is, to get back on to the subject I was talking about earlier, it's going to be not difficult per se, but it's going to be requiring a bit more thought from my end as to what I should fill the silence with, because... Oh crap, I forgot about him. Dynamite surely should be... Whoa, I just sort of weirdly sidestepped. Did that work? Oh, it did not work. It did not work. God damn. This is a very impractical gunfight. Did I get him? Yeah, I went on slow-mo. And I didn't throw a second one this time. I'm learning to not do that. Already I've learned that it's not worth the seconds I can save. Still, this has been an education. Sure, let's leave it there. I feel like that gun could come in useful for me. I feel like I'm not interested in trying to use proper weaponry. And now we go find Beagle. I've forgotten his name was Beagle. And he's going to be like, well, I was just tied up here in the kitchen and I'm secretly a coward, but it's not that secret about it. I'm just happy to be alive.
I don't suppose you came here to rescue me.
I cross my fingers, but my hands are numb. Bye.
What?
I'm in a bit of predicament about here. Well, I've got a question for you. Well, you should let me. You should let me go.
If you would.
No, I want him gone.
Then I'll defer to your superior appraisal of character and prowess in contests of arms.
Yeah, I don't need him helping me. And he will get himself blown up, and I feel like he's vaguely useful. No, that's a lie. That is absolutely a lie. He is not useful in the slightest. I love of all the things in this game to be like physics locked. You've got one of these things, which, as everyone knows in real life, you know, well, firstly, they don't hang at an angle, but, you know, whatever. So, okay, this... I'll say this, that minigame has always been engaging. Oh, I didn't know where that led. Okay. Yeah, I get lost in this place because everything looks the same. Is this the exit, or is this... Yeah, this is where I want to be. I think I will finish this mission and then I will stop recording there, and if it turns out none of this is recorded, I will be desperately unhappy, and I will do this all again tomorrow. Oop. Maybe that's worth something, I don't know. Oops. Oh! that spooked me. Oh no! That bounced off him. I didn't realise it could do that. Let's take care of... What does a doctor's bag do anyway? Oh, it does that. That's useful. That was a loud, fun noise. But I've hurt myself. Oh, I see. Okay. So if I... Wait, no. I'm remembering now. If I just want to heal just HP, I should just go use the stim pack in this manner. Oh, that was right. I had a helmet. Where's my helmet? There we go. I remembered how to look forward. Or behind, as it were. I mean... Okay. I feel like I can actually... If I go back to using dynamite just for this second, I should probably use that incinerator as well. It's crying out to be used. Did that attract any attention? Okay, I should probably get out a shotgun or something. This game may sometimes leave me not having all that much to say because suits me fine. Whoa! The good news is I have a very good shotgun and you have probably a okay one. That was a lot more interesting than the other times I've done this. This dynamite thing was a good idea. Well done me. So yeah, I suppose, I mean, there are one or two people who I know listen to this and I will be looking to them for feedback on what sort of things they want to hear me talk about, if they're happy to have me not talk at times. This is a work in progress, I don't really know what I'm doing, and that's fine. Life is improv. I say that like it's a quote. I made that up, and I'm not even pretending it's good. I just said a thing like it was meaningful. So, let's just have a look in here. I believe I've cleared this place out. I'm gonna have to start drinking those things in a minute. So I was just counting how high the HP was going and how fast. Trying to figure out if this whole thing was worth it. What am I actually doing here? I'm trying to... Was there actually an impetus for me to clear out the rest of this? My kind of town. Okay, I suppose I didn't really actually have a purpose in coming up here. But it was fun. I liked the dynamite. And it seems like as good a point as any to leave off for the first... Yeesh. How do I can't seem to pick people up. I know that was a thing. Whatever. Is this the exit? No, this is an elevator. Yes. I'm remembering now, there is a table knocked out. Yep. Aha, also there's this thing. Can't do that. Can't do that. Cool. Well, that was exciting. Beagle's going to be in here, is he? Okay, well, I think we'll pick up here another time. I hope to God all of that recorded. Like, there's no reason it shouldn't have, but God, can you imagine? Anyway, see you around.